Zoom. Okay, we are now officially recording. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you so much, everybody, for submitting your questions. I do want to go ahead and put something out there. We did have some questions about charting, but in this group, we don't answer questions about charting just because not every team, but many teams have different theories and different ideas about the best way to chart. So we recommend that you get with your diamond upline or your triple or presidential ambassador upline when it comes to charting. So we're not going to be talking about placement or anything else like that. So leaders, I'm going to go ahead and throw the questions out there, and if whoever wants to answer, just go ahead and be like, I'll answer, or I'll start calling names just like I'm a teacher. So, okay, so first question, and we got about 3 minutes per answer, is how do you make your HUDRS list? Methods of tracking leads and follow-up do's and don'ts. So how do you manage your HUDRS list? Anybody? All right, Kristen?
I'll go ahead and start.
Okay, great.
I loved how Amy Miller told us to do print off our Facebook friends. You know, I think it's a great way to have an organized list and to be able to write notes next to it and stuff like that. So that's how I do it. And then I also write it on the back of my steps to success. So that way I'm intentional with who I'm talking to each single month, and I keep my steps to success single month. I've got them printed. So that's how.
Awesome. Anybody else want to go?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Okay, so I do a couple of different things. I'm a paper and pen kind of person, so I like to write things out. So I have a notebook, of course, that I'm like writing stuff in, and then in my planner, I write like the really strong potentials that I have, like we're actively talking, maybe they give me a date or something like that, or maybe they give me like a vague date, like when I get my tax return, you know, that's not an actual date. I'll like write them in my margins of my calendar and then move them over. But one of my best tips is I put them in a Facebook list. So if it's somebody, I have like 50 lists for Facebook. They're kind of crazy, but when I'm really getting a lot of potentials quickly, like I will make a list for that month just because I want to, you know, if I'm adding like 100 new friends that month, I want to know like when we started talking or whatever. But if we're having really good conversations, I'll put them in my hot leads list. And so, you know, I can pull up that list, you know, every night. And that's what my newsfeed becomes. It's just those people. And then I can comment and kind of be a little more interactive with them. But it also just helps me real fast when I want to message them. It'll say, okay, these are like your top 25 leads right now that you can message.
Awesome. All right. Who else hasn't gone yet? I know Krista just went. Danielle?
Yeah. So I have a notebook, like a spiral notebook that I just add to. So every night before I go to bed, I write down the names of whoever I spoke to that day. And then typically when I'm doing like my follow-up Friday, I'll usually go through that week, whoever I wrote down that week, and follow up with them, write a little note beside it. And so my hundreds list is now, you know, a thousands list. But also in my phone too, I will, as I talk to somebody, for example, when I was at JCPenney's, I was in the bathroom talking to this woman, and I wrote down the date of when I was speaking to her, along with her name and where I met her. That way I can continuously follow up with her that way as well. And then I have a running message with her through my text messaging that I can remember exactly what we spoke about as well. So I like to put people in by dates in my phone book so that I know what I'm doing on a given day, and to keep track of when I last spoke to them.
Awesome. All right. And Ashley, did Ashley go? Ashley.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm muting myself on and off. My kids are up later than they're supposed to be. It's a little crazy night here. So I do a little bit of a mix of what everybody said. I just printed my Facebook friends list, which is like awesome because I'm that visual pen to paper kind of person too. So I print my Facebook friends list. I do the binder. I have tried to do the whole Excel, but I have learned that you do what you're good at and do what you like, because that's what you'll keep doing. So I love the binder, and I also use a planner. I go use a planner too, where I write the people in my planner. But I love the stuff that we have from corporate, the memory jogger, and even the February goal getter sheet. Sorry, it's so loud here.
Oh, you're fine.
The February goal getter sheet is really helpful too, because it is everything you need to like get yourself going and start writing down those people that you may not think of. And so I love, using all of the paper, the tracking who we talk to every day. But when I started the business, starting out, and even have done it, at the start of every year, I get out those memory joggers and now the goal getter sheet, and I start there.
Awesome. Okay, I hope you guys are taking notes, because these are some great tips. And that's what I do. I have a binder that I keep my HUDgers list in. I always write down my people when I thought my steps to success and go through it. And one tip I once got from Lori Conway is, if you meet somebody, like if you're up, let's say you get somebody's phone number, or you meet another mom at a ball game, one thing I'll do is when I get their phone number, I'll write next to it PDT, or P loyal customer. So then I can go through and search all my potential distributors I have on my phone, and I have their phone numbers right there. So there's another tip for you. Okay, next question, ladies. Somebody asked, what wording are you using for the new bonuses and promotions to potential? So when you're messaging your potentials about, the new go bonuses, how are you wording your messages? Whoever wants to start.
I'll go. I've been using one of the tips from conference, and I forget who says it, but I'm starting a new dream team, and I'm ready to just get this awesome team going. So they mentioned, again, I forget who did it, but they mentioned reaching out to people and telling them when you were thinking about somebody for your team, that they were the person that popped in your mind. And it was more directed towards when you first start. But I'm relaunching myself all the time. So I really like that for myself as well, even though I've been in the business for 4 years, because I am starting a new team. I'm starting a new portion of my team. And so I am messaging people and telling them, my sponsor told me, or whoever it is you want to say told you, my CEO, whoever, told me to think about who I want on my dream team, and you were the first person that popped into my head. Or maybe not the first person, I wouldn't say second person, but you popped in my head for my new dream team, and I think that we would be an amazing team. And by the way, there's some amazing bonuses right now. What time are you free tomorrow? And so I don't like to ask them, can we chat? Because the answer is going to be yes or no, and I don't like yes or no answers, because 80% of the time it's going to be no. So instead of giving them the option to say yes or no, I just say, hey, what time are you free tomorrow? Is morning or afternoon better? And when you give people less options to respond to, they're usually more open to actually doing it. So that's kind of what I've been doing with the bonuses, because for me, this $10,000 bonus has been out for a while, and I've reached a lot of people with this $10,000 bonus, and just figuring out a new way to approach it.
Awesome. I'll go.
Okay.
So I actually told my team today that I could give you I could give you all the magic wording or everything like this, all this fluff to say, but if you don't have a network, nothing I give you to say is gonna help. Because I made this post and got tons of people, but then somebody else made the post. Well, the problem is she doesn't have a network. So I really stress on my team is you've got to be building a network every day, and then you've got to be building relationships with that network. So what I have really kind of encouraged, because I've been the script girl, and I've given my team posts to say and all of this stuff. What I've really encouraged my team this go around with the $10,000 is to be personable, to take that hundreds list, to go down and pick who you want for real, not just like, I'm going to take anybody that's going to sign. I mean, that's cool. I'll sign anybody that's going to sign because I like $100. But, you know, to really pick that dream team, and then when you message them, to be personable, and then tell them why you think they'd be good at it. You know, do you think they're good at it because you see that they juggle 3 kids when their husband's deployed, so you know, hey, what's one more thing? Or do you think that they're going to be good at it because they're like charismatic and everybody's friend? You know, and so I'd really encourage my team to message them, and like Danielle kind of said, like, hey, you know, I'm offering this bonus to a couple people that I'm offering to work towards this bonus to a couple people that I want to personally mentor, who I think got it. And I think you got it because X, Y, Z. And then be really like personable and real with them. But if you don't have a network that you're working on every day, no script that I give you to say, no special, you know, magic word is going to help if you're not building a network and then building that relationship where they're going to trust you and listen to you. So that's what I'm kind of doing. We're just really focusing on building the dream team because you can pick who you work with. So pick who you want and using that hundreds list or using that Facebook friends list, and you know, and then go down and tell them, like, I'm going to help you run towards it. I think you got it. Like, let's get you started. When can I get you started?
I'll jump in too on this conversation. So 2 things I want to share. First is when this bonus first came out, I was a Ruby, just got done conference, and I was really super excited. I was going to go after the $10,000 diamond bonus. And on my way home, I called Danielle, your other host tonight, and said she just wanted to try a wrap. And I was like, no, girl, you were going to sell this with me. We are going to get these $10,000 bonuses together. Like, let's run and do it. And she just believed me because I was so excited. She heard how I was like, this is happening. I'm going to do it. Not that I had already done it, but that I was going to do it. And so she jumped on, and she did earn the $10,000 bonus in 3 months. And so did I, and so did my husband. So it was like we did it together and we just ran. So that was my one tip, is you don't have to worry like, oh, well, I'm not successful enough yet to, like, you know, tell people this. You just have to have the belief that you're going to do it and run out there and do it, and people will feed off your excitement. And to go off of that, so what I'm doing now is, it took me kind of a minute to process the new bonuses. Because at conference, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't understand. Like, there was just these different columns and different times, and I was like, so once I fully like digested everything, I got really, really excited because my team used to pop diamonds like crazy when we offered the $10,000 in 3 months, like crazy. And I looked back at everything. I have not had one person on my team go diamond in 3 months since we haven't had that bonus. They've all taken longer. So there's a lot of magic in this diamond in 3 months, $10,000 bonus. And I am like so excited that we have this to offer again. And I, you know, am either calling people or voice memoing them on Facebook because I want them to hear how excited I am about it, because words typed out are not enough. I can't do enough explanation points for them to hear how pumped up I am. And it's really working. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it sounds so fun. I want to do it. So I know it's a little scary to do the voice memos if you're not used to it, but just get over your fear. And especially if you're going after these big goals, like, your goals are bigger than your fears. So just do it, and you'll get way better at it as you go.
And I'll go real quick. I am just like Kristen, you guys. I was totally against the voice memo because I always felt like going fast was better. And then I thought, you know, maybe going, you know, to quantity was better when messaging people, and I needed more and I needed more and I needed more, when in fact, like, quality really, really does show. And so people hearing that I say a lot is good. And your potential's hearing that you have like you're a real person and it's not just a script. Yes, it takes longer, but your close is way higher. So I'm all about the voice memo. And what I love too is, you guys, people cannot pre-read those voice memos. So they can't, click scan and then drop down in their notifications and then never open up your inbox. And people are nosy. They want to know what that said. So I don't know about you guys, but listen, having a voicemail on my phone drives me crazy. I have to listen to it. Taking the extra minute or two to do the voice memo really helps. And I'm just sending something simple, you guys. One of them I sent today, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you've heard, but I know you saw me in Florida. I just assume, because if they didn't, they're gonna be like, I want to go look. And so just send something along the lines of I know you saw me in Florida, and obviously we're relaunching a brand new VIP team. You can say dream team, you can say whatever team you want. We're helping 10 people reach a $10,000 bonus in the next 3 months. If $10,000 isn't something that could help you, I totally understand. Because that sounds stupid, right? Who doesn't want $10,000? But if it is, you're definitely one of my top people that I would love to help. What are your thoughts? Are you in? Getting that close is so crucial to be well, yeah, I guess I'm in. That just sounds dumb for me not to be. So voice memo, and then asking a closed question. Don't just send out cool information. That's not going to help close your distributors. Sending out information oh my gosh, there's a $10,000 bonus. I'm super, super excited. Cool. It doesn't close, right? So you want to make sure that you have a closing question. Are you in? What are your thoughts? What's it going to take? What other questions do you have? I know we've talked a couple times. I'm really excited to get you going. I assume the sale every single time. Oh, you're muted, Pam.
Sorry, I'm muted. I love that. Yes, excitement is so important. Just like Kristen said back in the day when we signed up, there wasn't a Ruby bonus. There's nothing like that. It was all get to diamond in 3 months. And that's what we did. I would tell everybody, hey, I'm going after a $10,000 bonus. Do you want to do it with me? I don't know if y'all can see this, but you see all these little squares are all people. Me and Kristen are on this page. I'm sure
I'm on it.
Amber's on this page. These are all people who got the diamond bonus in 3 months. Okay, we're a little bummed that our pictures were so small, but it was because so many people did it. Okay, we had somebody, I think Barb Hauser went diamond in 9 days because she just went around telling people, hey, I'm going after a $10,000 bonus. Do you want to do it with me? Okay, because it is huge. And so just being excited, like they said, and be like, hey, I did it in 9 weeks, however long it took you to do it. If you did it, even if you didn't get the bonus, it doesn't matter. You can, if you haven't promoted to diamond, you can still get the bonus. So it's hey, my team has gotten this bonus. I'm getting this bonus. Do you want to do it with me? I'm looking for 3 people who will get this bonus with me. All right, so excitement is huge. Okay, sorry, next question. Let me get the next question. Oh, I just lost my place on my question thing. All right, somebody asked, I'm so sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't really, I just lost my spot. Okay. All right, tips for selling. Okay, here you go. Tips for getting people to host parties. What are your best tips for getting people to host parties?
Guys, I love parties. I built my whole business on parties. And I feel when I have a love-hate relationship with social media because it's great, but I also feel like it is so much more work for less quantity. That's just my thought. Agree to disagree, don't really care. But doing parties, I can go to a party with 10 people and I'm walking away with not just 10, but 5 from this one, 2 from this one, 3 from this one, 6 from this one, and it just goes like a web, okay? And I'm in front of them. Just like the voice memoing, you can't not sign up as a loyal customer distributor or buy a product when you're in front of them, and you can't deny that excitement, and it's contagious. And so booking parties, okay? The best source to get a party from is your loyal customers. The sale's already done. So message them, and they don't, you guys, people feel like the reason why they don't do parties is because they don't have an idea of what it looks like. And so we get to eliminate that by that's what our posts are going to be about on social media. So what questions do people have about parties? And then the very next day, I'm going to make that post about it, eliminating that problem. Okay. So what do I get to wear to a wrap party? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We're having a wrap party on Thursday night. everyone come in their sweats. We're going to have little, water, whether you do a wine facial party, skincare party, a taste test party, whatever it is that you want to do, make it simple, but eliminate the problems on Facebook through your post. When your customers sign up as a customer, especially if they're local, offer to go wrap them as soon as their product gets in. So then you're going to message them. They're going to message you before they even open the box of wraps. I tell them the box of wraps is not going to work unless you message me first. It's like magic. Just don't open it until you message me, because I want to be there for you. And so then they're going to message me, and I'm going to come over Saturday at 12. And after I secure the time, it's got to be in this order. Okay. So I'm going to secure the time, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I'm actually doing wrap rewards this month, which is a one wrap. Okay, or a facial wrap, or whatever product that you have. Don't not have a party because you don't have extra wraps on hand. Do something. Put a little goodie bag together of greens and a water bottle from the dollar store. Make up something. You guys, I love parties, so sorry you're like totally, I'm like, blah, but I love parties. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to go over there and say, you know what, I'm coming over to wrap you. Do you have like 2 to 5 friends that you think would love to try the wraps? And I charge $35. But because you're a customer and they're your friends, I'll give it to you for $20 or $25. Invite them over, you guys. One person is a party. And then they're like, yeah, sure. And guess what? If people show up, they show up. If they don't, you're still wrapping one person. And you're going to sport that one person, even though they're already a customer, as a party. And as you start saying that you're doing parties, people are going to be like, oh, she does parties all the time. Like, this is no big deal. And it's like this full circle of wrap parties. You're going to post, you're going to recognize, you're going to celebrate, you're going to ask, invite, and go right around in a big circle. So I'm done for now.
I'm going to cut in before Danielle because she's the party girl. So she's about to be like, blah, 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 blah. I am not the party girl, okay? Like, somebody asked me how many wrap parties I had held, like in my entire business. And I probably was like, oh, I didn't really count them, but it wasn't a lot. But when we were hosting parties, they were getting results. They were getting party after party after party. So it is 100% the way to build your business. But because I was like, always funky about getting people to host parties, this was kind of a trick that I actually started. So when I sign a loyal customer, I send this same script that's like, you're in, go to your website with this number. I always screenshot a picture. I sign them up myself. Okay, sorry. And I always screenshot, their number and send it to them. I'm like, go to your website, my website, with this number, log in, blah, 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 blah. And back when we had the referrals, the perk points and stuff, not the perk points, but the referrals, when they used to get like, if somebody signed up, they get blah, 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 right? So I had this big mumbo jumbo about like that. And I would say, hey, let's get you a party hosted so we can help you earn that free stuff. So now, since we don't have those, I've had to finagle it a little bit. But I have offered same thing, except it's my own referral. I've offered a goodie sampling. So like whatever I had on hand, I'd be like, hey, go in, log in, when you get, let's have a wrap party. When you get people to sign up, from your referral, you'll get a goodie sampling of some products. And so then I've offered whatever I had, whether it was greens or if I had wow or whatever I had that I could like sample out. I would literally just like go to the dollar store, get something that was green, put a ribbon on it, throw a couple things in it, and people would like literally have a party that would sign 5 loyal customers from it for something that probably cost me like $3. Or if I had extra wraps, like I love conference, you guys, like seriously, always buy your conference tickets because you get all kinds of wrap rewards. And when you're signing your loyal customers, you're gonna get all those wrap rewards. So when I had extra wraps, I would, same thing, I'd be like, hey, if I was like really want to get parties, I'd be like, I'm giving out free wraps. Let's get a party. So that we, whenever you get referrals, for every 2 referrals you'll get a free wrap. And so literally it's a script that I send the minute I sign them up. That is like the minute I sign them up, I've started talking about how can you share your results and spread the word to your friends. Let me help you do it so that you can get more free stuff. So they think it's like super customer appreciation, which it is. I'm very thankful for them. But I'm like, hey, let's get some parties going so that I can get some more money. And so like that's been one of my ways for someone who's not super party booking pro, like Danielle's about to take over and blow me out of the water here because she built parties. But for someone who's not, that was a really good way to start like pressing your comfort zone. Let's go get a charger.
Okay, I'm gonna go now.
All right, Danielle, she set you up.
All right. So the first question is, how do I book parties? Right. So
Right. It's how
first
to
of
book
all,
parties, and also how to make it not sound like it's so much work. One person
Yeah.
said that what's a better way to call it? That a lot of hostess feel like it's going to be a bunch of work.
okay. So first you have to work with intention. Where are you going to find parties? I did a lot of events, just $20, $30 events, school things, little holiday fairs, little vendor events around town. And so I did a lot of events and I just talked to people. Second thing, I didn't ask them to host a party. I told them they were hosting a party. And so, but I wouldn't do it in like a threatening, demanding way. I'd just be like, hey, need you to get some friends together. I'm coming over on Thursday. And so they would do it, especially my yellow friends. I did target a lot of yellow people. So I also did cluster parties. So what I mean by that is I would think about somewhere that was at least an hour away from me, hour 2, maybe 3 away from me. And I would try to think of who lived in that area. And I would reach out to all of them at the same time and say, hey, I'm coming to, because I was living in Maryland at the time, I'm coming to Virginia on whatever date I'm coming. I am booking 3 parties and you're one of them. Which time's best for you? And so I would just tell them, like, again, not threatening way, but people want to help you. And then kind of just explain to them, look, I'm coming, just bring your friends. I just need a few girls. It's $25. And a lot of people will say, don't say party, and do what with what you feel comfortable with. But I like to party and people like to party. So I always say party because I like to have fun. It might not come out that way in the beginning. I might just be like, hey, I want to get a rap on you. And then they'll be like, oh, awesome. I don't have the money. Perfect. For every person you bring with you, because I'm coming on Thursday, you get $5 off. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. And so and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm like, girl, I'll even bring your water. You just bring me bellies. We're good to go. And so just confident. It doesn't need to be. Yeah. It doesn't need to be threatening or scary. Think of your yellow friends, do events and book parties. You could do event specials. So I did a lot of that where if they booked at the event and I told them they could totally change the date because they'd be like, oh, let me check with my girls to see what date works. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. Because your friends are going to get mad at you because one of them's going to want this date, one of them's going to want this date, and then you're going to pick this date. And then the other friends are going to hate you forever. So let's just go ahead. We're going to pick this date now. And if it doesn't work, then we'll switch it. No big deal. And they're like, oh, all right, I can do that. I'm like, all right, perfect. So just bring me bellies. Let them know it's $25 to wrap, and you get $5 off for every person you bring. And because you're booking at this show today, I'm going to give you a free facial as well. So, or whatever it is that you want to do. Now we have WOW. We didn't have WOW back in the day. But now you have WOW, so you could do WOW or even, exfoliating peel or whatever you want to do. But it's, again, yes and no questions can always happen, can always end with a no. So just don't ask. One weekend we did, I forget how many parties my husband and I did, and he comes with me all the time. And I also bring anybody that I think would be a good distributor. I'll bring them with me. And that way they can see how easy it is and see my big jar of money and how much money I'm making. And I'm like, oh, did you want some of this money too? Come on, girl. Let's get you started. Or my husband would come with me as I'm wrapping the bellies. He's priming them up to get ready to buy. And we would most of the time turn our hostesses into distributors as well because those are their customers and I want them to be their customers and not mine. So just work with intention. So if you want to book Friday, or if you want to book parties for next weekend, then do a power hour, two power hours, and literally just work on booking parties. And just tell them you're coming to their town to see them, and you need them to have a few people over to cover the expense of your trip. So it works.
Awesome. That's great.
I have a couple things.
Go ahead, Kristen.
I have a couple things I want to add because my husband and I were just talking about parties today, and I am committing to doing parties again because I did a lot of them my first couple of years and not so much. And to saying that parties are like a lot of work is so wrong. Social media is so much more time consuming for less BV orders. Like, you can have 1,000 BV parties. Like, you can walk out of there with distributors and 1,000 BV. Think about that. If you did that 10 times in 1 month, that is diamond volume. You could be diamond in 1 month just by having 10 parties. Like, you want to do parties. If you want to go fast, you need to get in front of people. And I love what Amber said, and I wanted to I have my own thing. I was like, let me send you my no fail instructions. So they think I've got these magical instructions they have to have, which is basically just everything that you already know. But I just add a few little things like in there, so they think they have to talk to me first, because I don't want them just going to rap or whatever without me putting it on them if they're local, or at least walking them through it. And guys, if you want to stay motivated in your business like we all are right now after conference, you need to have parties, because just doing them and being in front of people pumps you up. Like, it's almost like a high you get out of the party and you're tired, but you're so excited because you know how much closer you are to your goals and how many lives you're changing in just one night. So, and I love what Danielle said about doing the clusters. I've done like 4 parties in one day before. Like, I scheduled them from like 9 a.m. on up and just went crazy, especially when you're traveling. And that's, if you want to go fast, I went from ruby to double diamond in 1 month because I did things like that. So you got to be willing to go crazy if you want to go fast.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, go ahead.
That I meant to mention, booking parties from parties. One thing that my husband and I used to do is we had index cards in our party bag. And when we were starting, we would ask each person to write down names and phone numbers as we went. So so as we talked about a product or they saw a product in the catalog, if they wrote down 5 names and phone numbers of somebody that they knew that would like those products, we would do some sort of drawing at the end for like some greens on the go or something. But what we would also do is at the end, we would show them that postcard and let them know that they already have 5 people that would be great to do a party with them, because they're ordering today. We want to keep their 3-day progressive results going. So let's keep these 5 people together and do another party with you so I can wrap you for free now. And so that would work a lot to get a party from a party, because they've already thought about 5 people. And if they don't book a party, at least you have those phone numbers and those names that you can call them and say, hey, Sue gave me your info. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, and just go from there. So that's how we did a lot of parties from parties.
Awesome. And Pam is doing a lot of spa parties, and she's just messaging people saying, hey, I'm determined to get as many chin wraps on people as possible. You know, do you have 4 friends that'll come over and I will wrap your chin and you can try our wow for free? You know, so she's just taking 1 wrap and using it per party. Okay, here's our last question, okay? And I'll give you guys each about 2 minutes to answer this. So this will be our final question. But how do you seal the deal with potential distributors? What do you do and say when they have fears or objections when taking that leap of faith?
I'll start. You guys, one of the greatest techniques that I'm going to share with you guys is 3 F's. Okay, write this down. Feel, felt, found. Okay? I totally know how you feel, because I felt that same way. What I found was XYZ. It's the greatest thing. And I'll usually object 3 times. Like, I'll let them give me 3 objections, and then I'm done. I got to move on. And so I don't want you guys hanging on to these people that are on the fence. Like, for me, my pipeline is so filled, I actually don't remember who is objecting me, because I'm constantly forward focused. So doing the feel, felt, found is a great way. The other thing is one thing that I learned through, my husband used to do door-to-door sales through Vivint. And they always said, you know, if it comes from me, it's a lie. If it comes from someone else, it's the truth. And everyone knows that to be true about salesmen. Do you guys ever notice when you go to the car dealership and they're like, yeah, my brother's uncle's cousin's grandpa, he totally has this truck and he loves it, right? Because they're sitting here at a BMW dealership driving a Dodge, and they're lying to you, right? So the same thing goes for our potentials, okay? So even in the feel, felt, found, you can be like, no, I totally know how you feel. I've actually had a bunch of girls on my team feel that same way, because then it's coming from someone else and they can relate to it. They know that you're trying to sell them on something. Okay, we're all salesmen. If you guys have not listened to the book Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, you need to listen to it. It's phenomenal. And so everything you do in life is selling, but you want them to want the business, and we got to put a value on it. So again, object 3 times, but keep that pipeline flowing. If you had people on the fence, you guys, if I were waiting around for the people that were on the fence from 2012, I'd still be waiting. I am, actually, because they're still there. And they're going to come around. I know they're going to come around in their time. But if you're focused on the 10 people from last year who didn't join your business and you're still wanting those 10 people, you're missing out on hundreds that are ready right now because you're waiting for those 10 people. You got to go, right? Like, it's this season, it's this year, like, go, go, go. So feel, felt, found really works well for me. And again, object 3 times and move on.
Awesome. Okay, who's next? I love I use that too. I love that. Kristen.
I was trying to find, hold on. Am I muted?
I was calling you next because your square is right next to me.
I was trying to look for a message, but I just tell people, I'm like, I use the voice memos. I'm like, do you want to do this or not? Like, I think you would be so amazing at this. And I just keep asking them unless I'm not getting that vibe from them. And then I move on. You know, I kind of do like, I'll message them like every Friday for about 2 months. And then if I'm not really feeling it, then I move it to like monthly. And then if they're still not, like once a year, when I'm like, all right, I'm making a big push, like, let's just contact everybody. And, you know, and then if not, I'm just like, you know what, maybe you'd feel more comfortable just being a low customer. If I've like really exhausted trying to get them to sign up, I'm like, maybe you'd feel more comfortable trying the products for a while. I know once you fall in love with the products, you'll be ready to jump in. So I'm like, I'm at least going to get a little customer or try to do a party or something like, hey, let me just show you how much fun it is. Have a party. And then if you can decide there, and all the people that become customers at the party can be your first customers. And if you decide it's not for you, then they'll just be my customers.
I love that tip. That's awesome. All right, Ashley.
I'm coming. Okay, so I think it's really important to listen, not just hear, but listen to their objections. And I think a lot of us we know, because we've had these objections, we know, you know, what they're going to say. And we already know what we're going to say. And that's our problem in society. Is like, we're listening to reply. Like, we're not listening to hear. So I think it's really important to hear what they're saying. And then, like Amber said, is tell them how you overcame that. Whether it was you overcame it or someone on your team overcame it. You know, I mean, my husband's been deployed for, it'll be 11 months by the time he gets home. I've got 3 kids. And so I really kind of show through my life that this is possible. And so listen to their objections, and then really kind of brainstorm, like, I totally hear that. Like, I know you're super busy. I get it. I've got 3 kids. I'm super busy too. Here's the thing. I love that you're busy, because that means that you're going to run into a lot of people, you know, or like, I love that you're shy, because you don't have to be in your face crazy to do this business. I've got a shy friend. And then talk about Tiffany Chapman, who's like an Ambassador Diamond and like the quietest person on stage. I think it's really important to, no offense to Tiffany. She's just very, very sweet. And she's just quiet. And so whatever it is, you know, really like listen to hear them. And then, you know, this is the big thing about being personal. And I think social media really has gotten a lot of us away from it. Kristen's taking a picture, so you should all smile. Be really real. I think it's time. Like, people are so sick of just the rat race and of just, you know, the fake whatever. She's doing it again. of the
Stop
fake.
calling me out, Ashley.
Well, I don't want a bad photo, so I have to keep pausing to smile, and they're all probably like, "What the heck is wrong with her?" But I think people really want real, and people really appreciate real. If you voice memo, if you do this, call with somebody with your kid on your hip, they're really going to appreciate it, and you can start breaking down the walls of their objections just by showing them that their objection isn't more important than their reason for doing it. And so if you find their reason out early, which I would, find their reason out early and just play on that reason over and over and over again, because, their objection, their being too busy is not more important than their wanting to bring their husband home from Iraq or wanting to stay home with their baby.
Awesome. All right, Danielle.
Yeah, I think that everything that I was going to say, they each touched on, but I think the most important thing for me is to make sure you understand their objection. And Ashley talked mostly about this, but not assuming the objection. Because if they say no and you think they're broke and you think they say no because they're broke, then you're going to start pitching them this idea of finding a way to start. And that might not be the issue at all. So I think that's the biggest thing, is to find that objection, to then bring in what Amber said and have them relate to somebody else that's not you. So if, like Ashley said, if they're shy, or if they don't have money, or if they're just not sure that they can cut it, you can put them in line with someone else. And if you're new and you're not sure who to put them in line with, that's what our rat mags are for. Make sure you read that, because there's stories in there that you can utilize to grow your business. And you can even take a picture of it and send it to them and be like, maybe this person would relate to you more. And so I really tried to know as many people in this business as I can, just so that I can relate my potentials to other people, so that they understand that I'm not the only one that's successful in this business. And I have some girls in my business that haven't done anything. And this is a prime example. Like, I asked them, are you ready to go? Conference fired me up, and they're like, I'm scared. I'm like, well, is that fear going to drive you, or is it going to make you quit? So you need to make a decision. Are you going to be fearful to push? Are you going to be fearful and let that push you forward? Or are you going to be fearful and let that hold you back? And so just figure out who you're talking to before you start speaking. Listen and hear them and relate to them and care about them.
Can I add one thing to just what she's saying? Is it's important to know what personality color you're talking to, because like I've had situations where I'm a red personality, so I'm like talking about the money and all this, and I could feel her. I was losing her, and I was like, wait. So I told her, I was like, well, maybe you should just be a loyal customer. I was like, because she was like, no. I was like, because these products are so amazing, like they really help people. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh, really? And it's because I was now hitting like her yellow side, and she's like, she wanted to help people. She didn't need the money. She had a great job or whatever. It was the helping people that really targeted her. So if I would have just kept going down the money path, I would have totally lost her. And she did sign up to be a distributor. So if you can kind of feel people out that way, you'll be more successful too. And can we all smile real quick so I can take a pretty picture and nobody's
Oh my gosh. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Awesome. I want to give you one quick tip that I also got from Lori Conway. Sorry, she's my upline. And I've used this a lot and has helped me. But if I have somebody who's been kind of on the fence, whatever, I will send them this message that says, on a scale 1 to 10, 1 being lose my number, you crazy lady, to 10 being I'm ready to sign up, let's do this, where are you? Okay, and let's say they tell me they're at a 6. I'll say, okay, what do we need to do to get you to a 10? And they'll usually tell me, oh, well, I don't have the money, or my husband's not on board, or I think I'm too busy. And then that's when I bring in, just like what Amber said, oh, I totally understand why you feel that way. I thought the same thing, but I have found the busier you are, the bigger your network is, or whatever, So I've done that. I've just straight up asked them on a scale from 1 to 10, 10, never ask me again, because you don't want to spin your wheels and waste your time on somebody who honestly is not interested. you know, you got to keep your blinders on and move forward, but it's also a good way to find out exactly where they are. So anyway, well, that wraps up tonight's training. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Amber and Kristen and Ashley and Danielle for all your awesome tips. I got some notes here myself. And tomorrow morning we have our next Power Zoom at 10 a.m. Central Time. And so make sure you're getting on those. And I did make the Facebook event at LC Driven. Me and Tamara are doing that this Sunday, so make sure that you are inviting your 10 people, and hope everybody has a good night. Talk to you later.
I'll add to you guys real quick. I also did a big Zoom training with Carrie Young about parties. Like, it was on fire. So I'll see if I can't find that and let you guys watch that for parties if anyone wants to watch it. So I'll post it in the push group.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Bye, guys.